Ode on a Grecian Urn by John Keats. We are going to discuss the fourth stanza of this ode. In the fourth stanza, we see that Keats examines another picture that is depicted on the Grecian urn. Now, this picture is that of a group of villagers who are leading a heifer which is to be sacrificed on some altar. Keats writes, "Who are these coming on to the sacrifice?" He's asking a question. Again, in this stanza, like the first stanza, Keats asks a series of questions and wonders what is happening. So he asks, who are these? Who are these people coming to the sacrifice, coming for the sacrifice? To what green altar? To what green altar they are moving? To which green altar or a raised platform they wish to go to take the heifer for the sacrifice? O mysterious priest, he asks, he addresses the mysterious priest. The priest is mysterious because Keats does not know who he is. Leadest thou that heifer lowing at the skies? He asks, O mysterious priest, who are you who is leading that heifer lowing at the skies, who is shouting loudly? Heifer is a young female cow, especially one that has not yet had a baby or a calf. Lowing is a characteristic deep sound which is made by the cows. Lowing at the cows means lowing out loudly because it is dragged by the people. Who are these coming to the sacrifice? To what green altar, O mysterious priest, leadest thou that heifer lowing at the skies, and all her silken flanks with garlands dressed? He says that the heifer is dressed with garlands, and both her sides of the animal who has silky hair and who has been dressed with garlands. What little town by river or sea shore? Again, Keats wonders where the priest is leading that crowd and the heifer, which is that town, whether the town is by riverside or is near the seashore or mountain built, or the town is built on a mountain with a peaceful citadel. Is emptied of this folk, this pious morn. He wonders that the town, which is either near the river or near the seashore or on the mountain, is emptied today. Why? Because all of them have come down for the sacrifice. This pious morning, this sacred morning, that town has been emptied of its people, and all of them have come down and they are going for the sacrifice. And that little town, thy streets for evermore will silent be. He tells the town, little town, thy streets, your streets. He personifies the town here. He addresses the town and tells it that your streets forevermore will silent be, will remain silent forever, because these people have come down and they have been depicted on the Grecian urn, so they can never return back to their houses, and the streets of that town will remain silent forever. People will not be able to walk on those streets, and not a soul to tell and there will not be a soul to tell, not a single person will be able to tell why thou art desolate, why you are empty. He's speaking to the streets or of the town, and he's saying that not a single person, not a single soul will be able to tell why you are empty. Can ever return, because no one can ever return there. No one can ever return to the streets of that town. Thus, we see Keats wondering from where these people have come and where are they going, and he imagines a little town which is empty of all its citizens, and he tells it that its streets will remain silent forever for those people who have left the town, who are frozen on the urn. They will never be able to return. This is a ceremonial procession in which the people have left their town, which is depicted on the urn, and Keats notices the figure of a shadowy priest who is leading a cow. The cow is mooing towards the sky very loudly, and it is dressed with ceremonial flowers. And now this image causes us to wonder where those people in the procession have come from, which is the town which is either by the river or the coast or the mountain, which has fallen quiet because there is no one left in that town. Now Keats directly addresses this unknown town, personifies it, and acknowledges that its streets will remain silent forever, and there will be no one left who will be able to explain why the town is empty. Keats asks a number of questions: who are the people, who are the legends, and what are the passions it narrates, but then he describes very vaguely whatever he sees. In this stanza, he shows a crowd on its way to a ritual sacrifice, and also speaks about a mysterious priest who is leading an heifer to an altar. Thus, Keats' descriptions are richly ambivalent, as the silent scenes which he depicts are timeless, but they are unchanged across generations, and that stasis, it protects the subjects of the urn from the impermanence of human life. The scenes which are depicted on the urn, they do not exist inside the boundary of time. They go beyond time, and this is that which makes a difference, and it separates them, differentiates them from humanity. In this stanza, Keats speaks about emptiness or desolation. He imagines that the little town by the river or the seashore has been emptied of its inhabitants due to the sacrifice. So the empty streets of this town will always remain silent and still. So according to Keats, this silence is a kind of loss, and the stillness is also not the perfection which he had admired in the beginning of the poem. This is a kind of desolation. Thus, we see that there is a similarity between the first stanza and the fourth stanza, and this similarity is that Keats asks a number of questions in both these stanzas, using what a number of times in the first as well as the fourth stanza. And in all the five stanzas in this poem, the poet addresses the Grecian urn, describes and discusses the images which are depicted on it. The most important images are the two scenes, one in which the lover pursues his beloved, and the other one is in this fourth stanza, where the villages and a priest gather together to perform a sacrifice. Thank you.